Hey friend, I just wanted to give you a little nudge to write a review if you haven't already. If you've been enjoying this podcast and you've yet to write a review, it would be so incredible. You would put so much light into the world by doing a little review on Apple Podcasts. I appreciate it so much.
The 20 people that are listening to this, or the 2,000 people that are listening to this, those people are going to be blessed now with positive angels that are going to be circling them. Okay. They're going to go about their day to day with positive angels around them. All right. Because they're in the light. They're in the light.
Hey friend, today was an incredible day because I woke up feeling fear and overwhelm, and there was a lot that I was holding energetically and in my mind. And I had already scheduled a breathwork session for myself so that I could prepare for this upcoming weekend where I'm hosting 6 incredible women that are so inspiring to me that I love in Mount Hood Village, Oregon for a retreat. And I've been getting the goodie bags ready, and I've been organizing when I'm going to pick the women up at the airport and all those logistics. And then I realized that I had overscheduled myself for today, and I didn't sleep well last night. So I went to the gym anyway, and I went out with Jake and got a croissant at the patisserie anyway, and then came back and had an incredible, as always, breathwork session, and then was completely wrung out emotionally, but in the best way, and just decided to just show up as my full authentic self and nothing more. And just, okay, I am raw and I'm just going to show up. I'm just going to show up for these interviews. And I gave an interview for someone's membership where I'm going to be giving breath work. She said one take and it was done. She was good. She was happy. I was so happy. And then once I got that underway, I was like, okay, I can do this. I can hold space for 2 people on the podcast today. Like, I'm just going to show up. I can do this. And they both were incredibly rewarding conversations. So the conversation today with Christy Dreiling embodies truth. Her story is just so much about resilience and heartbreak and triumph and unwavering love. Speaking with her was like sitting by a fire, safe and illuminated and inspiring. There's a softness to her strength, a clarity to her wisdom, and an invitation throughout our conversation to just step fully into our light, no matter how many shadows that we're walking through. And this is not just a conversation about success and money, though Christy's achievements are extraordinary. It's about the power of choosing love over fear, of expanding our capacity to shine when life gives us every reason to dim. It's about the quiet courage it takes to believe in something bigger than your circumstances and the ripple effect that belief and that light can have in the world. So as you listen, I invite you to breathe into the spaces between her words, to let her story, insights, seep into those parts of you that crave expansion, and to remember your light matters. The way you show up, the love you offer, the energy you bring. It makes such a difference. Here's my heart-opening conversation with the luminous Christy Dreiling. What if I told you that the key to deep peace, healing, and clarity is already within you, just waiting to be unlocked? Welcome to Mountain Breathwork Infused with Reiki. This isn't just breathwork. This isn't just Reiki. It's a powerful, transformative experience. A journey into your own energy, your own breath, your own healing. Your first session right now is donation-based because I want you to feel it, to truly experience the shift. But here's where the magic happens. You'll release stress, stuck energy, and emotional weight that's been holding you back. You'll feel lighter, freer, and deeply connected to yourself, your intuition, and what really matters to you. You'll tap into clarity, creativity, and a profound sense of peace that carries into your daily life. And when you commit to the journey, a 10-session package for 1011 takes you deeper, unlocking lasting transformation, breakthroughs, and expansion. Available over Zoom. Whether it's just you and a partner, so powerful, your family, so powerful, or just any small group that you're intimate with and you want to work with, you will be guided into a space of safety, release, and renewal. Hosting a retreat, I would love to bring this healing to your community. It's time. Give yourself a deep breath. Say yes to your expansion. Message me to book your first session today. Siri@sageandblushwellness.com. Check the show notes. Welcome to The Authentic Creative, expanding our capacity to feel good. I'm Siri Baruch Thornton, a lifelong healer, teacher, and creative. My journey began in a yoga ashram in Boston and led me through the healing communities of Vermont to over 25 years in the film and TV industry. Along the way, I've learned from spiritual masters, explored meditation, clairvoyance, and embraced my role as a mountain breathwork teacher, Reiki Master of Masters, and Akashic teacher. This podcast is all about inspiring you to expand your capacity to feel good through conversations, tools, and practices that support your inner growth and creativity. So, whether you're seeking healing, transformation, or simply a deeper connection with yourself, join me as we explore what it means to live authentically, creatively, and in alignment with your highest self. Let's dive in. I'm so excited because someone that I've known for a very long time, but sort of peripherally, but I'll get into all of it. But I'm just going to let you guys know about her. Christy Dreiling is here. I am so delighted and honored that she's taken the time to be with us. She is a spiritual coach, a best-selling author, and global leader in business and relationships. With over 2 decades of success in network marketing, she ranks among the top 0.01% of income earners and has led teams to over 1 billion in sales. Her journey from childhood hardship, including homelessness and overcoming abuse, to self-made success has shaped her into a powerhouse of resilience, confidence, and love. Christy blends her expertise in business with deep spiritual wisdom, helping individuals manifest abundance in all areas of life. I'm getting head chills just reading her bio to you guys. As an author of 4 books, a podcast host as well, and co-producer of an award-winning documentary, she inspires thousands worldwide. Holding degrees in metaphysics and divinity, Christy empowers others with spiritual tools to create lasting transformation. Her humanitarian efforts include leading mission trips to Guatemala, working in shelters, and uplifting communities. Whether coaching, speaking, or teaching, she ignites possibility, shifts energy, and pushes people beyond their limits. Her motto, quotes, "If you want to be happy, get enlightened." I just want to share a little bit about my first introduction to you was you were on stage at an Arbonne event and you were sharing your story and I was in tears, so inspired, so moved. My husband was with me. He had come to Vegas for the last day of the event. And we had our little baby. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, she's incredible, amazing. And I saw you in the hall and I said, can I get a picture with you? You're so amazing, blah, blah, blah. Took a picture, just always kind of was tracking you. And then you and I worked together a little bit. I think I gave you an Akashic record reading at one point, years later, because I was like, do you want a reading? And you're like, sure. So that was super fun. And then I think I gave a reading to your daughter-in-law and your son as well, because I kind of know them too. Amazing people. And then you and I have kind of danced around oh yeah, we should get you on the podcast. And then I asked you again, you were like, yes. So here we are. And I'm sure I'm missing things along the way that have come up about you. Oh, this is what I'm missing. I watched you on Instagram or Facebook years ago having an experience with your shaman in a field,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, that's so freaking cool. And that was before I started having my shamanic experiences and psychedelic experiences. And then I've just watched you like go through these like incredible earth-shaking transformations over the years. I mean, it's been a long time since that first moment that I saw you. You've gone through so much.
Yeah, girl. Yeah. To say the least, to say the least. Thank you, by the way. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you for that lovely introduction, and it's so beautiful to hold the space with you. And I always like to say it by divine appointment only, and it's like when the time is right, the time is right, and the messages will be clear and they'll come through the way they're supposed to. So uh I'm grateful to be here, and yeah, thanks for having me.
you're
Thanks for having.
you're so welcome. So, question for you. Your journey from childhood challenges to success is so inspiring. I don't want to just skip over that. I want to give you an opportunity for people who don't know your story to just share as much as you feel like sharing about it, as little or as much. And then I have some follow-up questions about your beginnings.
Sure, sure. Well, if you want to know more about my story, you can always read it in my book, LOL. But I'll give you the highlight reel. There's not much that I keep from anybody because I finally came to the understanding that I chose and we choose our stories. We
Yeah,
choose to be in these physical bodies. We choose the mother, the father, the children. We choose it all. All right. We go into these contracts with each other. So,
agreed.
I used to say, woe is me. I don't want anybody to know about my pain and suffering, because then if they know about my pain and suffering, then they're not going to love me. I will be abandoned again, just like
Mm.
as a kid. So for a long time, even I was 27. I'd been married for 7 years to my ex-husband before he even knew about my story. So it was,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd earned a VP position in my company at the time when I actually felt confident enough to share with even him that he wouldn't leave me. If
Wow, that's fascinating, amazing, and so moving. Okay, keep going. Yes.
Yeah, so my mom had me at the age of 15. She was kicked out of school because she was pregnant. We lived in a small country town in Kansas, and they told her she was a disgrace, so they kicked her out. And
Oh my God.
yeah, it was crazy. She actually had me on an Air Force base in Eglin Air Force Base in Florida,
Okay.
and um, so she couldn't take care of me much for the first year. So my grandma took me back and I lived with my grandma. And then my mom came back. She got married. But before she got married, we actually lived in a car behind the Pizza Hut. All right. So I remember, like, I was around 5 years old, and we would be sleeping in the back of the car. We would go to the lake and get cans out of trash cans, and we would put them in pillowcases and go to the grocery store and turn it in for money. And she wound up getting a job at the Pizza Hut. Okay.
Okay.
And she wound up falling in love, and she married the manager of the Pizza Hut. Okay. And he wound up being, you know, let's just say he was in his shadow work. All right. He was in.
Mm-mm.
And so we went, before that though, I mean, I loved pizza. Like, I mean, I still love pizza. It's like we would sit on top of the car and watch the stars and eat pizza. And, even as I got older, I dealt with my pain by just eating a medium Pizza Hut pizza. It was great. And so, that was part of that human experience that, I don't regret. But to sum it all up, that was a blimp. It actually created this drive and this urge for me to create more, because I wanted to have a family one day. I wanted to be able to, have a beautiful space for my children to blossom. And so, I'm glad it happened the way it did. I'm glad that the things that happened, and my mom, I'm not glad that my mom got hurt, but I'm glad that I got to witness those things and witness us do have things happen to us so that I could overcome it, and then wind up touching hundreds of thousands around the world.
Mhm.
So it sounds really weird for, me to come to a healing space of saying, God, thank you to the dads that were abusive. That was really the catalyst that made me the woman I am today. Um,
Mm,
Powerful.
that's deep. That's powerful. Yes. To get to that place, and that takes incredibly deep,
Oh,
consistent work.
Hey, we're going to pause here for just a moment. What's the thing that's never getting better? The thing that keeps you up at night? The loop you can't seem to break free from? Bring it to our Akashic record reading session. This isn't just a reading, it's a sacred conversation with your soul, with your team, your masters, teachers, and loved ones and guides. A place where the deepest parts of you are seen, heard, and understood. What happens in a session? You receive the clarity you've been searching for. You get the validation for what you've been feeling but couldn't quite name. You experience an energy clearing, releasing lower vibrational and stuck emotions so you can move forward lighter, freer, and more aligned. What if the answers you've been seeking are already waiting for you? In this space, you can finally breathe, release, and receive the relief you've been craving. One session or a package are available over Zoom from anywhere in the world. It's time to lift the weight off your heart. Say yes to clarity. Say yes to relief. Message me to book your Akashic record reading today. Link in the show notes. And we're back.
Incredibly deep,
oh,
consistent work.
you have no idea. You have no idea. Like I feel like I've had my full-time job since I was 11 has been the spiritual work.
Yeah.
Full time.
It's so interesting that some of the people that are shine the brightest, that are the most effective, that have the most success are the people who've experienced the opposite. It's like you said, their soul kind of needed that experience, that contrast in order to come to the other side. And it is this hero's journey. It's an incredibly huge arc that you've had.
Yeah, and I think, we have a tendency to really we have a tendency as a society to idolize those who go on to we're all on the hero's journey. We just all are. But
Yeah.
sometimes, the reason why people also need to go through it and we idolize those people that break through is because um in some capacity we're not breaking through, right? And we need to be reminded of what's possible. You don't actually have to have, like, I remember when Dylan, my older son, was little, I don't know, he was like maybe 11. And he said to me, Mama, am I going to be as successful as you? Because, I haven't had the hard life that you had.
Mm.
And I said to him, I sat there very quietly with him and held that space. And it was a very real, observation for him. I said, baby, I did that work so you don't have to. And you can literally go out there and start and build something more big, more beautiful, more touching than what I've ever been able to do.
Oh, I'm in tears. Oh my God, Christy, that's so beautiful. Yes, like we want them to stand on our shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh, and you're such an incredible, I mean, to look at your children is to
Mhm.
see you have two,
Three sons, three.
three, three
Mhm.
handsome sons. To look at your children. I mean, I only know Dylan really, but like, is to just see what you've done, the work you've done.
Thank you. However, I said this to someone earlier. I don't remember who it was, but like I literally, the only credit I can take is that I'm grateful they chose me because my soul was already ready, gonna live out this incarnation. Like I already had this plan to be this woman, right? From all my other incarnations, I had evolved into this spirit. Not involved in the spirit. I was always a spirit, but I in this into this body. And so they just chose me because they knew that in order for them to reach the level they needed to reach, they had to have a mother and a father that were exactly the way we were. So I actually, Dylan, I'll spend time with Dylan. All of my boys are also unique, but I'll spend time with Dylan and I'm like, what? Like, you're teaching me, like, this is amazing. Like, I'll sometimes go to him for advice. And
Mm.
And that's really beautiful. And I also think that we're actually working on our next books together. And we're not going to have a one book, but he has his,
Yeah.
and I have a book, and we plan to publish at the same time as a mother-son, you know,
Oh my
it-
God, I love it. That is so fun.
yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. But my point in saying, like, we beat ourselves up as parents too often. You have kids?
I have two boys,
Boys,
9
yeah.
and 11.
Yeah, perfect ages. We get caught up on like, am I doing it right? What if they turn out to be crazy and wacko? And then they write a book about what a, crazy mother I am. Um, and then you do all the right things, and then you're like, shit, maybe that's still not the right thing. And then you hear the stories where they wind up going,
Yep.
we really don't have as much control over that as we think. I mean, we can only do the best that we can do with the awareness we have.
Yes.
And if you show up every day as a mother and a father and you're just doing your work, that means you're not sitting on the couch every night just watching Netflix and ignoring your children and on your phone all the time. Listen, that's not doing the work. The work is being present, to the best of your ability. And, also showing them that, you're not perfect. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. But when we mess up, can we own it? Can we say, I'm sorry?
Yep. Yeah,
So
because our parents, that generation didn't have that modeling. And I see that as one of the major differences between that generation and our generation as parents is this repair,
yeah,
is we show them. My kids are really good at saying sorry and
cool,
and quickly,
cool.
because we show that to them. So to follow up, you shared about your incredible journey a little bit. So, how has that shaped the way that you lead in business and in your relationships?
Well, the way that past business to current business are very, very different. Okay. So I'm going to share about the way I led in the past
Yeah.
and where I'm at now. So in the past, I was driven by fear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I so did not want my boys to have the experience I had to go through that I was willing to work harder than anybody around me to make sure that they didn't have to like
Mm-hmm.
suffer the way I suffered, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that they were going to have to work hard. I didn't want them to be like, trust fund babies. That wasn't happening. Um, and so what I would say is that my fear led me to create the the dream that I wished for that would create the safe space for them. And so I led authentically, but a lot of times I molded myself into being a version of myself that I wasn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the community that I chose to be a part of, um, sometimes I didn't fit in so well. And I love crystals and I love energy, I love frequency, I love things that come from things we can't explain.
Mm-hmm. The
And
mystic,
I am mystic. I am a nomad, gypsy,
gypsy
mystic.
lady,
No, I am a gypsy. I am. I am. But I can dress up and look like,
corporate woman. Yeah.
Fifth Avenue girl too. But the truth is that it just, a lot of times I embodied something I really truly didn't resonate with just so that I could attract the people that loved that kind of community. And then it came to a point where I just wasn't fully embodying me.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, I would say, even though I'm not yet again on stages of thousands and thousands of people, which I've launched off to pursue my speaking career and my writing my next book, but I'm not yet there. I intend to be soon. The way I lead now is to lead with complete vulnerability, complete authenticity, complete self-love and acceptance of every choice that I made, whether people thought it was good or not good, was exactly the choice that was meant to bring me and all the other souls where they were meant to go.
Yes.
And just loving me without being afraid of not being enough,
Mm.
which is ironically the title of my next book, which is Enough is Enough. So it's really, I lead by example, not by how much is in my bank account, but truly the depths of my experiences to help other people to say yes to themselves.
You're just music to my ears. I love the authenticity. I love the vulnerability. I love how you're just reaching into your heart to find these answers. We can feel that. We can feel that you're just resonating with your own truth. And that, I mean, gosh, what's going to happen next, Christy? Because you've scaled so many things, and it's like now that you belong to yourself, it's all just icing on the cake.
That's really a great way to put it. Like I belong to myself, girl. Um, it
Yeah.
did not come without a really, really deep dive into the dark night of the soul. Like I had to certainly lose myself. I had to certainly say enough, 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 enough of being in a marriage that I'm not happy in, enough of letting myself play small because other people are afraid of my strength.
That's okay. So, one of the questions I wanted to ask you that you're reminding me of is fear of failure and fear of success. We all have experience with both of these fears. And I'm curious about the relationship between those two things and what the gifts are in the fear of each of those.
The fear of failure is actually, you've already tapped into success. And the reason I say that is because if you're fearing failure, this is your this is your higher self. This is your guides saying to you, you're on to something. So if you say, I'm fearing taking my podcast to the next level, that's exactly what you need to do because on the other side of that, there's a lot of light to be revealed. The opponent is not going to come to you in a place where they're not worried about you. Okay. They're not going to give you fear in places that there's not going to be a massive amount of light and love to be experienced. Okay.
Got it.
You got to earn the light. You have to earn the light. All right.
Hmm.
Nobody, otherwise, everybody'd have it. Right. Just like we used to say, well, everybody can get a Mercedes. No, no, not everybody can get a Mercedes. Not everybody reaches the 0.001% of whatever it is that they do. Not everybody's Meryl Streep. Not everybody's, Tiger Woods or whatever. No, why? Because they earned the light. They were willing to break through their fears and their own mental barriers. And is it hard? Hell yeah, it's hard. Because every time you get close, what happens is you get the test, you start tasting it. Oh, I'm getting closer. And then boom, you get slammed right back down. You get this, oh shit, I got to start back again. You get tested. And when you keep passing the test, then you break through. Now you're at the,
Mm.
now you're at the next level. All right. There's a breakthrough.
It's like a video game.
It's all like a video. It's all what it is. It's all what it is. It
Wow.
really is. So you're, in order for us to reach the next dimension of our possibility, the next level of consciousness, like we've got to see that it is a game, that it's not some like, well, that some of us saying that's fucked up. Why would we do this to ourselves? But I think that we have a tendency as humans to be really selfish.
Mm.
We focus so much on ourselves and what are we, and we all get trapped in it. I get trapped in it,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, and you're in survival mode. It's really easy to get trapped in it or that kind of lack thinking or what have you. It's like when you feel filled up from the inside, then it's easier to just overflow. You do charity work, right? So I want to know about when you were just talking about selfishness and we how we get caught in it. And so the opposite of that is the philanthropy and giving of your time and your energy.
Listen, I've had lots of experiences and roles. One of them was there was a time where I did some work in shelters and I did work with one of my leaders. She has had a nonprofit forever called For the Love of Mateo. And I would lead one of her groups in Guatemala and we would deliver bunk beds to people that didn't have money and beds. And I mean, it was beautiful. It was really a profound experience. Um, and one thing I learned from the charity work is that we cannot deny people the joy to overcome their own suffering. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't help in suffering for a person. Like just the other day I had a homeless man come up to me and, needed some food. And, I'm never going to turn anybody down who needs food. But I can't play God. We have to be careful
Mm,
to not be martyrs.
hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes society puts this really big, they like to put a medal around your neck and saying, you're so great because you do this. You're
Hmm.
like the best at this. We have to be careful not to get caught in that trap because it's a trap, right? Because what happens is you start to feel good. So here's the thing. You feel good for giving. So is it really for you or is it for them? I mean, think about that. I mean, did you ever feel bad for helping another person? No, you didn't. Like it felt good.
Hmm.
So the gift is, we always, the gift is really, the gift is for us and for them. It's a win-win-win, yes. But when it starts to become something that
Need. Yeah.
we need or we feel like it's our identity, ooh, now
Hmm.
we're treading. Now we've got some, we got to really tread lightly there because everything has to be from the right place. And you're in your journey, you're going to be in different places at different times. Like right now, I'm not doing a lot of charity work. You know what the charity work has been for me? It's been me.
Yeah.
It's like I've been giving to me because for so long I gave to everybody else and it was been not me and like, oh, me, like I said earlier, but it's been more like what healing do I need to do in order to be a brighter light for the rest of the world? That's the charity.
Hmm.
Right? Some people think that they have to go and they have to go to another country. And listen, go inside your house, close the door, get into your bathtub and meditate.
I love being in my bathtub. I
Yeah.
will take that advice from you all day long.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's important because if we don't do this work on ourselves, this world is going to suffer more without us showing up. Okay. So the charity we need to do is start with us. Then once you have enough and you can fill up other people's cups, bring it on. That you will be given more light. Okay. That when your vessel is too when it's hit capacity, does that make sense?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's so many women that are doing charity work, giving to the schools, volunteering, and they're completely depleted.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But the,
because it's the feminine. We think we got to be it all, do it all. We got to be the sex partner. We got to make incredible love to our partner. We got to be great parents. We got to be great businesswomen. Oh, by the way, you also have to have a perfect body and you have to be spiritual and you have to be great finance. Like, listen, it's exhausting,
yeah,
right?
it's like the Barbie speech, right? It's like, did you see that? You didn't see it. Oh God, it's a great speech.
Okay.
It's what you just said.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. Get out.
yeah.
Yeah, and so to some degree, we need to fully embrace wherever we're supposed to be, right? With right now, you and I, we're
Yeah,
right,
it's like be
right,
here with right rooted
right
beneath your
now.
feet.
here now.
Yeah.
Be here now. Be here now. But listen, that's why meditation is everything. If you can't sit quietly and meditate and then allow the creator to speak to you, and that creator, whether you believe it's your higher self or your guides or God or whatever, I don't care what you want to call it. But whatever it is to you, you need to be able to get the downloads.
Yeah.
And if we don't sit quiet and feed ourselves that kind of charity, right? Then we can't go fill other people's cups up. And so I have a feeling I'm being groomed and conditioned for bigger charity. I don't even like to use the word charity, but bigger humanitarian work. But they're not showing me what it is yet. So I'm being patient with that and doing what work they want me to do right now, and then that'll come. So that's how I'll answer that.
Yeah. So, that moment that you were sharing about of deciding that you weren't going to fit the mold and then starting more deeply on your spiritual journey, can you talk about that?
Well, there's been a few times where I've definitely felt like the saboteur in my life. Okay. I really, I mean, I remember back in the day when I was so afraid to talk about like the fact that I loved metaphysics and crystals. And one day I was like, I'm just sick of this. I'm sick of hiding. I'm going to be who I am. And I was also afraid to go on camera live because I didn't have my makeup on. I didn't look cute. And I just heard a voice just say, I never asked you to get dressed up. Just go share the message. Like get out of your way. Just go share the message. And I'm like, yeah, well, nobody's going to listen if if I'm not, all.
Well, I mean, the irony is like you never don't look cute to us.
Ah,
You know what I mean? Like that's the hilarious thing that
well,
you could never not look cute. So,
yeah, I love you. I'll put you in front of my mirror every day. We're our worst critic, and that's something we're always working on, right?
right. Yeah.
Uh, but I decided, okay, fine, fine. I was like, fine, I'll go do it. So I think I had my hair in a towel, and I was doing coffees with Christy back then. And I just authentic and raw, and here it is. And oh my gosh, like my views and reach just skyrocketed. I mean, I had people from India messaging me, and this was before it wasn't even Instagram, it was Facebook.
Hmm.
So before social was really social.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was a big step. And what's interesting is my daughter-in-law, Sammy, said that because of my coffees with Christy and how I was so talking about metaphysics and crystals, she's like, I realized that there was a person like me in the business we were in. And if I wouldn't have been authentic, they wouldn't have been married and I wouldn't have my grandkids, right? So
Wow.
that's pretty powerful. So that was a really beautiful, like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to be me. And if they don't like it, whatever. And then I would say that the most recent one has been pretty profound because, my business has produced about $1 billion over the course of my career. And I've led teams in 5 countries. I've had thousands and thousands of people in my organization. And I was being called, I was being called for for millions of lives, not just thousands of lives. And I battled it because I felt like I had such a heavy responsibility with all these people that looked up to me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen, like you said, I could go into a stadium and people knew who I was and they were like, wow, that's Christy. I want to be like her. Like I'd reached this egoic, like, wow, I've made it kind of thing. Like, and it felt good. It felt good to know that I could talk to someone in a hallway and change their life. That felt good. I had earned that. And so now the creator is asking me to give it back, give back all this And now I want to take you on a journey so that you can reach more. So when I called my leaders and I called the VPs of the company, and I was like, listen, like, I'm obviously not going to give up my ID number. Um, but I've got to go. I've got to go write my next book. I got to help millions. I got to go. And some weren't so happy with that, but majority of them were very happy. Like, of course, Christy, you'd have to be blind if you didn't see it coming. I mean, you've been writing books for years and doing documentaries to change the world. Like, we get it. So the people that are more, enlightened, uh, respected it. But that was a very hard thing because it meant me like saying, um, enough is enough of me not truly fully embodying my gifts that I've been given to help as many as I need to help. And it felt lonely. I'm going to admit it was lonely for, a while because I felt like I was like starting all over again and nobody knew who I was. Nobody really cared. Right. And so that was also the test with where I was where I was getting some energy, right? I was getting some energy and validation from others seeing me in a certain way. So
Yeah.
I start validating myself and rebuilding my confidence in myself of who I actually am as a soul. And I don't need outside validation. And so it was a process, and it feels really good though to completely embody your truth.
Hmm.
And that, people looked at me when I left my ex-husband. Oh my God. I mean, if we could have been on the cover of a magazine for network marketing of, the poster childs, no longer together or something. It was just, it was interesting. So I kept giving people, they're like, oh my God, Christy's like whiplashing us with all of her changes. Um, but it also gave other people the courage to actually have the crucial conversations with their partners or with themselves, with people, and take action, change, do something before you die here. you
Hmm.
know, don't let that be the mountain you die on.
And then the spiritual journey and mushrooms, did you get something from that? I mean, you were sharing about this guy Zappy. Can you talk to me more about that kind of journey?
So the plant medicine journeys, I've been on many, and every one has been very different and met me where I was, and some were extremely challenging and very, um, oh my gosh, like very humbling, I guess you might say.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I mean, mother,
Like ego deaths. Is that what you mean?
yeah, yes, yes, but especially ayahuasca, she just showed me where I had issues with control.
Okay. Yeah.
And listen, my control mechanism was a very important personality that I developed to save me as a kid. Okay.
Yeah.
And I needed her. I needed her to be able to control her environment in order to feel safe or in order to not be swayed by the dark, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're a light worker, listen, they show up. Okay. They show up in disguise and they try to get you off your path. It's just natural. But to really recognize that I had so many control issues that was actually, it was hindering me from my next evolution. And that was, she was like, I'm not getting you, what was supposed to be a 5 hour journey wound up being 7 or 8 because I wasn't letting go of control in the work. And she's
Mhm.
like, I'm not letting you get out of this until you let go. And I finally
Mhm.
surrendered to her. I finally
Mhm.
surrendered to her. And I was tired. And it was like, I'm just tired of fighting all the time. I'm tired of trying to be more for my kids and my mom and the world. I'm just tired, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so Aya was a really profound. Now, mushroom, that's a whole nother journey. I'll be talking about all these in my books, in my next book, whether the peyote medicine and the hape and sananga and the mushroom and the Molly, all of them, ketamine, all of those journeys that I've taken just unveiled different, it took back the veil of different projections and perceptions that I was clinging to, that I wasn't aware of.
Mm.
Like that's what's crazy is you think you know yourself, but then the veil's removed and you're like, what the hell?
I'm just looking again at the background at your Airbnb and all the Picasso faces, and it's like what you're talking about. It's like all the masks,
Oh, 100%.
right? That you had, like you said, you had to wear
Yeah,
to
I had to win.
survive and to thrive until you were finally safe enough. Yeah.
I've never been, and here's the thing, this is what my next book is all about. Like I kept searching for something outside of myself to make me safe enough.
Yeah.
I really just kept, like, okay, well, that's not it. Well, that's not, it's like I was looking for the Holy Grail. I mean, it was like Christy Jones in the Last Crusade.
And you just did it at a level that most people don't do it at, but I think that we're all doing that.
100%.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it. Most of the clients that I get they are definitely their own characters in that film. They're looking for the Holy Grail. They're
Yeah.
looking for the Holy Grail and they think it's going to be on the outside. And then, this is why I love working with people. Like I can teach people how to become rich. I can teach them how to manifest whatever they want. I know those tools. What I got to teach them to do is to not fuck it up once they get it, like I did. Okay. And because you're going to get tested once you create and you manifest success. You're going to get tested. And then you got to question, are my intentions pure? Are the reasons why I'm doing all of this is my intention pure or is it for the ego gratification? Now, if I get people who are there, they're like, Christy, okay, listen, it's kind of like do the therapy before you have problems. Right? Why do people usually go to a therapist when they're about ready to lose their relationship? But they've
Mm,
been doing it the whole time.
mm,
That's why I say, don't wait until your life is on fire and it's blowing up to get someone to show you the way. But some people, this is what people do. This is what I did. Nothing will happen to me. Nah, I'm smart. I've been doing the work. Famous last words. It's like that's when you're just like, oh, let's see how clever she or he thinks they are now, right? New
wow.
level, new devil. New level
Wow.
always.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because it's the opposite of the Holy Grail. It's like, no, when you're alive, if you're alive, you're going to be doing it and you're going to keep doing it and you're going to keep doing the work and then until you're ready to pass to the other side.
Yeah.
But
And
it's interesting because you can choose not to do the work.
well, yeah,
But
most people don't want to do the work.
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I'm comfortable doing quotes the work, but I'm not comfortable doing other things that other people are like, "Oh, I'll do that."
Let's talk
I'm
about that.
I'm like, let's lay down, let's feel our feelings, let's regulate our nervous system, let's breathe it out, let's cry it out, let's scream it out. I'm like, "Yes, bring it on." Right? But like trying to figure out how to become rich, like you just said, "Oh, yeah, I got that. I can figure that out. I can tell you how to become rich." I'm like, "I don't know how to do that."
Okay.
So it's just interesting how we all have our like places where we're so willing to go it's so easy for me to go and just do the deep spiritual work. Not easy, but you know what I mean. It's like I want to, even if it's hard.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's just do a little workshopping on you right now. You said you don't know how to do that, right? You said that's what you said. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's true?
Or is that a story I'm telling myself?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
asking.
Oh, I mean, it most definitely could be a version of a story for sure.
Okay. Um, the other question is, do you actually want to be rich?
Mm. Well, I'll tell you, I already feel incredibly abundant,
Right.
like incredibly rich in like a million ways. And would I like to have more money in the bank? Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so you would like it. Okay. Beautiful. Who wouldn't? Right? Money, money is, and you've heard this before. I'm not going to tell you something you don't know, but money is just energy.
Yeah.
It is an exchange. The universe will give you an abundance of that whichever it is you just ask for in exchange for the light you put into the world. So because you have a lot of abundance and all this, you feel blessed and abundant in maybe your relationships and your work that you do, right? You have that,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Amazing. So what's happening is all that light you're putting into the world, it's going into this bank account. It's called your spiritual bank account. So in the spiritual plane, you have a bank account with a lot of energy in it. Okay. And the minute you say, you know what, I'd like to take a withdrawal. Yeah, it doesn't have to come now, but creator, I'd love to take a financial withdrawal. I'd love to take some of that energy and have it in my bank account. And the reason why is because my intention is that I want to create a space where I'll be able to do um I want to be
Yeah.
able to retreat center. Let's just
Yeah.
say I
Yeah.
have a retreat center where I can heal more people. Okay, so
Yeah.
now that's her intention. The universe is like, you know what? She has great intentions with what she's going to do with that. She's going to be mindful with her money. Mindful with her money. So at some point, it's the miracle's going to happen. They're going to surprise you. Okay, but you have to get it because of what you've given, it's already being held for you. Now, there may come another time.
Like it's in escrow. Yeah.
You can ask her.
Yeah.
100%. There's another time that maybe you get a surprise. Maybe you're way older or younger, doesn't matter. I'm just saying, maybe you're 80 and you get a health surprise. And you're like, all right, creators, what do I got in my bank account? My energy bank account. Well, Siri, the last 20 years you kind of just sat on the beach and drank margaritas. You're gonna have to earn some more light for us to help pay that debt. And how do you pay that debt? Well, see, if you had reserves in the escrow, the right person would show up with an answer to solve that health problem instantly like that. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. So what does that mean? Well, we don't just serve and share light because we want to get light. It has to be pure. So you can't just like, oh, I'm just going to go give. I'm going to get karma points all day, every day, because that's going to be, I'm going to have a million energy points in my karmic bank account. No, 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 because that doesn't work. It actually cancels itself out. Like it literally has to come from an authentic place. So the when you are driving on the highway and somebody needs to come over and you think, you know what? Of course, go, my friend. Good. I hope this helps you in your way in your day. Boom. Energy points goes into your karmic account. Okay. But the minute you say, I'm going to go do this, listen, I'm going to go do this podcast for Siri because I want to increase my email count or I don't, whatever. I'm just making shit up right now. Whatever somebody might say because they want to get something in return. I want to get 5 new followers or I don't know, whatever. Okay.
Sure.
I don't even know how many people listen to your thing. I have no idea. Like the fact that I just want to show up and give light because I don't care where it's going to go. It's light is light. I want to share that light. Hella fucking luya with that, right? That means that we just dismantled 20 negative things from happening to 20 different people. Okay? The 20 people that are listening to this or the 2,000 people that are listening to this, those people are going to be blessed now with positive angels that are going to be circling them. Okay? They're going to go about their day to day with positive angels around them. All right? Because they're in the light. They're in the light.
It's interesting because I've studied Buddhism for about 17 years, and the way I perceive what you're saying is through that lens of cause and effect
Yeah, of course.
and good karma and creating good karma. And I'm also interested in, and I know this might be a boring question, but it's just coming up, so I'm going to trust it, is that what about all the people? Because there's a lot of people, like I know money is net neutral, and that if you're a good-hearted person, you'll do good things with your money. And if, you're not a good-hearted person and you're selfish, you'll do, quotes, bad things with your money. But why are there a bunch of people who are not, quotes, good people that are very rich based on what you're sharing, right? Like, how does that compute?
I do have an answer for you, but I do want to back up for 1
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Because here's the deal. I've made over $12 million. Okay. Not saying that to brag. I've made 12 million in my career and I lost it all. I completely gave it away. And you know why? It's not because I was a bad person. It was because I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the confidence in how to manage it or how to really be a good steward of of this energy. My vessel wasn't big enough to handle that much light. Does that make sense? If your vessel is not big enough to handle the light, you're going to lose it. Okay, so
And also, maybe it just wasn't how you wanted it to be received through that particular avenue.
it could be that, but I definitely know that I called the energy way in. I called the energy in way sooner than I was ready for it.
Mm, mm,
There
mm.
were lessons I needed to learn because of the ancestral karmic debt that was being handed to me to heal. Right? For
Yeah,
all, we have this
yeah.
karmic debt in our ancestral or epigenetics that we get to clean up. Um, and part of it, my soul wanted the challenge. It didn't want to be bored. So there's a lot. So it doesn't mean like I've not been the best steward with the energy that the creator's blessed me with until in now where I'm actually getting the tools. Okay. And I'm learning the tools, but I was afraid to share more light because I thought I was so bad at managing it. I said, what's the use? I help people and then I suffer more.
Hmm,
Okay, so
hmm.
I had a new belief system that was keeping me from share. Again, that's the way the opponent gets you, you know? Like, oh, so that's where your faith and your belief have to come in and your path. But I'm going to go to the other point.
Yeah.
Wanted to highlight that because, you know, I really don't believe that people intentionally do bad things with the blessings that they've been given. Some people do. Some people do. They're
Mm,
unconscious.
mm.
And then other people really truly it's just a lesson that they also need to learn because they haven't been given the tools yet to heal that. So now why do bad people get blessed with a lot of money? So from my Kabbalistic studies, what I've learned is that in order for those people to actually heal their karmic debt, to have their correction, the only way they were going to be able to have their correction was if they had money to do it. So my teachers,
Interesting.
yeah, so my teacher said that there's, so many times that he actually didn't want to be super he wanted to have a lot of money that came in, but he had a limiting belief. Okay.
Mhm.
So for years, he was coaching movie stars and all these really wealthy people. But what he saw was wealthy person after wealthy person after wealthy person. Their children were damaged and messed up and on drugs, or there was some.
Ah,
So all he kept seeing was a bunch of darkness from being wealthy.
and yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So what he's like, well, I don't want that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So he limited himself because he associated, just like I was telling you, I associated more suffering to having more money, right? And so those people, those children that came in and chose those parents, these trust fund children, they had to, in order to have their correction, to recognize that, you know, the attachment to the material plane, the attachment to the thing is the correction. So they have to actually seek love and validation outside of the money, outside of the title, outside of the achievement. Okay. And in
Yeah.
order for the soul to get there in this life, hopefully they do. A
I
lot of
was
them,
just thinking it won't be in this lifetime necessarily.
some do,
Yeah.
some break through.
Yeah.
And we can heal a lot of our karmic debt very quickly in one lifetime. I mean, we can, if we're on the path, we can, but it has to.
I believe that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a choice. Like some people just don't want to heal their shit. They want to get trapped in it,
Hmm. Hmm.
and those are the people that usually come to me, the people that have been super successful and they're lost and um they don't know where else to go. We got okay, you have all the money in the world, but you have no happiness. Okay, you're my person.
Hmm.
Let's go. Let's go. I mean, I get excited about getting people who are there. If they're willing to change. I can't work with someone who's not willing to change. I just can't. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, don't waste your money. You can pay me all the money, but it's gonna be useless.
Yeah.
So, you know,
What's your favorite, since we're talking about how you serve people, what's your favorite process of serving? Is it in groups? It sounds like it's one-on-one. Is that your
it's
favorite
all of it.
way? All
It's
of it.
all of it.
Okay.
I mean, I love speaking on stages. I mean, get me in front of thousands of people and I'm like, you're never going to be the same again. Okay. I love it. It's fires me up, fires me up. I become somebody else when I'm on stage too. It's kind of funny. It's like they take over and I'm like, who the hell is that? And then I go back to my cave. But,
That's a whole other podcast interview I could ask you about that ability. Yes.
yeah, it's
But
really, I'm actually launching in 2 weeks a free webinar where we're going to go into talking about stop chasing validation and love in all the wrong places. And that's going to be fun. My first big group coaching, 12-week group coaching program. I've been working on this forever. And just to pull out all my stops. I wanted to make it affordable to where everybody, so I can get, enough people on one call to where it makes, sense with time, right? I've
mhm.
also had to work on bread of shame because I would give away the farm my whole life. And now it's like, you know what? No, I look at the coaches out there and what they're offering, and I'm like, yeah, God love them for doing it. I gotta love that people are out there serving, but there's a lot of misinformation that people are being taught, and um, it's getting them on the wrong path. It's making them struggle more. It's not the wrong path because they chose it, but they're struggling a lot more with misinformation. So I like group coaching's good. It's good, but one-on-one, I can tap into their field.
Mm,
Just this
yeah.
morning, meeting with Zappio, I tell you the psychedelic guy. He's made all the psychedelic movies, or not all of them, quite a few of them, famous ones. And we were sitting there, we were leaving, and there's this guy, this big Jersey guy sitting there, and I'm like, he said, "Hey, what are you selling over there?" Because Gans was talking about his Kana product, which is pretty amazing, which we need to talk about here. And I was like, "Oh, we've got a psychoactive product. It's not a psychedelic, but it's heart opening." And he's asking me more questions. And when we were done, he said, I looked at him, I said, "You have Rocky energy. I don't know why. You got some Rocky energy, like Rocky, really strong Rocky energy." He looks at me like I have a third eyeball. He goes, "What'd you just say?" I said, "You got Rocky energy." And he says, "Come here." I was like, "Okay, what's up?" He pulls out his phone. He shows me a picture of him and Rocky from when he was Rocky's fill-in.
Oh, wow.
He's like, I can't believe you just said that. I can't believe that. How in the hell did you know that? Said it's the work. I said it's the
Yeah,
work.
you saw it. You saw it.
Here's my card. This is what we're all able to tap into when we heal our shit. We start doing the work. And I can't take credit for it. I'm just tapped in. The universe is just tapped. I'm with it. It's not me.
Yeah, I teach Akashic record reading and it's fun. It's fun the things that come through and you're like, why? I don't know that word, but I'm saying it. I don't normally say that word.
Well,
Yeah.
that's so crazy that you talk about Akashic because we were in a breath work session a couple weeks ago with some friends, and I get a past life vision, like
Yeah.
in my breath work, and I'm like, everybody comes out and they're like, I felt this, I felt that. And I was like, yeah, I saw myself in Egypt as this priestess, and they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So a week later, I'm doing this life activation with some really powerful women, and one of them was like, yeah, I see you as this Egyptian priestess going down the Nile. And I'm like, shut up. So it's like, and in Kabbalistic, this last week has all been about past life. It's all been about that stuff's been coming up energetically. Like, so
Nice.
you've been getting insights to your past. Um, that's pretty cool. So I've not played where you play a lot. I mean, I've been with lots of shamans and done some Akashic work and with you a long time ago. But it's really fun to explore. It makes you understand yourself a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. And it gives you that compassion of like, of course. Of course, that's why I'm dealing with this in this lifetime.
Mm.
You are so amazing. You're so fascinating. You're so deep. You've experienced so much. I love watching your journey, Christy. I love hearing. I can't wait. I say this sometimes, but I'm going to say it again is I can't wait to get in the bath and listen back to this and soak it in
Yeah. Yeah,
because
literally soak.
literally soak it in because it's brilliant. Thank you for your gems of wisdom. Thank you for sharing your light. And if people want to work with you, I have Christy's information. It's going to be in the show notes, Christy Dreiling at att.net. And also your phone number, yeah?
Um,
I was given that, but I'm like, really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. So let's do this. Let's do this. For just your show, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it only for your show. Okay. For whatever reason, the universe wants me to give my number. So you have my number, everybody. You have my number. She's going to give it to you. Um, but only text me if you really, really desire change, like you really want to do some work. That's really all I need to help the healers now. So I've had to go through this to help the healers to heal. All right. So we've uncovered some pretty powerful medicines that can really help the healers to heal and different modalities as well as energy work. So if you're one of them or you know that you're on the path to be one of them, then definitely reach out to me.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And I have no words, honestly. This was so much fun. This was such a wonderful experience. And I think everyone's going to really enjoy your next book. I can't wait. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
girl, I can't wait. I want to do something with you really quickly, and because you have this audience that loves you, loves your work, loves your heart, loves your intention, um, share with us all, if you may. It's up to you. Like, what would you love to intention into your business this year, into your life?
I see myself hosting retreats in Italy, Costa Rica, Mexico, Mount Hood Village, Oregon, where I have a retreat coming up this weekend that's full. I love facilitating breath work. I love working with people one on one. I love creating people's ability to go deeper within themselves, to process the emotions, to release what they're ready to release, to have the deep transformation for themselves. Hi, honey. I see myself expanding with retreats and just going deeper with one-on-ones.
Hmm.
Really,
Okay.
I just want to help people get happier, get what
Yeah.
they need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really, and I saw something else for you. I'll tell you in a little bit, but
Okay.
um, what I'm going to ask us all to do is in our meditation to hold Siri in this space. All right. If we can just all visualize and see for her holding the, I mean, we need some more, we need clear numbers. How many would you like to facilitate and have around the world this in 2025? Give us a number. 25
Uh,
Siri? How
uh,
many?
how many retreats or how many
How many
people?
retreats? How many retreats?
Oh, this year. Let's say 6.
Okay, I would say more than I would say if let's double it because then we're sure to land on 6.
Okay, 12.
Do 12. All right.
A good dozen.
Yeah, let's do a dozen. You know, the
The
12,
baker's dozen.
yeah, it's like the 12 prophets, 12 is a good number. So we're all for all of you that have been enjoying, the wisdom and the light and the love that Siri's been sharing with you over all this time. Um, that when you can hold space and visualize for another achieving their dreams, you actually get more deposits into your spiritual bank account. Okay. So I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to visualize 12 retreats around the world, and it's just going to show up in your field because now you've opened up the opportunities. Everybody now knows that they can actually help you call this in as well. And so yeah, yeah. I can't wait
Mm,
till next year when we talk. Let's just do this again in a year and let's see what's happened by that time. Sound good?
I love it. It's like the 12 miracles of Christmas.
Right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, Christy, thank you for this.
Thank you.
You're incredible.
You're incredible. You're incredible. No, you're incredible.
I mean, we're incredible.
There you go. I love it. Well, love
Hmm.
you all so much. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you guys for listening. Keep expanding your capacity to feel good, one breath at a time. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Ciao.
Thank you for being a part of our journey today. As we expand our capacity to feel good, we're creating a community that celebrates authenticity and creativity. If this episode resonated with you, please go ahead and follow us and leave a 5-star review. It's great karma points. Your support helps us reach others who are seeking the same connection and inspiration that you are. If you love anything that you heard, text this episode to a friend or share it on Instagram and tag me at Siri Baruch Thornton. I'd love to repost and connect with you. Together, we can build a space where everyone feels empowered to explore their true selves. So until next time, keep embracing your creativity and slowly expanding your capacity to feel good, one breath at a time.